Welcome back to Crystal Clear! I'm Vox, and Why So Blue was definitely my most anticipated episode of Steven vs. Future thus far, and as far as I'm concerned, it delivered. Shedding light on the Lapis Lazuli cut-up gem, their role as terraformers, and establishing our Lapis's new attitude in Era 3. So as always, we're gonna run through the episode for all the Easter eggs and details you may have missed. Of course, spoiler warning, if you have not watched these episodes, please go check them out, then come back. With all that said, let's dive in. Throwing us right into the action on an alien planet full of blues and greens, with a color scheme similar to Mask Island, Steven and Lapis have embarked on a little homeworld recruitment mission, Steven implying he's had gems with opposing views, who quickly changed their tune and came to Earth after an in-person confrontation. And I want to immediately make the note that throughout this episode, Zach Callison and Jennifer Paz are the only two voice actors present in the entire episode, despite there being 4 characters total. We love to see talent. But in case you are wondering where the other characters are, I'm cooking up a separate video on that topic. So stay tuned for that, I'm hoping to provide some clarity. Steven and Lapis stumble upon a herd of flower-like aliens that certainly reminds them of Pumpkin, who, if you're laying on the news, is likely on the Great Barn in the Sky now. But it's okay, she's rested in peace. These aliens are initially startled, likely more so by the sight of Lapis and Steven due to the other Lapises, but Steven radiates a welcoming presence, allowing a bond to quickly develop. As I was hoping, Lapis gives insight into her duties under the Diamond Authority as a terraformer, remarking how she didn't think twice about the life she destroyed, showing regret for those actions. The lack of humanoid creatures here also plays into the idea that out of all the life in the galaxy, the Authority encountered many organics, but none like human beings until Earth, which is why Pink Diamond was so fascinated by them. I've said this a few times by now. It's cruel that the Diamonds wiped out so many animalistic creatures, much like the extinct animals in our world that we have to hold ourselves accountable to. But they weren't out here executing any sentient humanoid life that could walk, talk, and communicate their thoughts. But I know. You won't believe it until you see it in an episode, which will never come. The progress of the two Lapis Lazulis, titled Mean Lapis and Nice Lapis, or Curly and Freckle, bears a strong resemblance to the Prime and Beta kindergartens, reaffirming Lapis's role on Earth before being caught in the Gem War, which was to create the Beta kindergarten, serving ties to the kindergarten course who could, Jasper. Once they're able to grab the attention of the Lapis Lazulis, we get a good look at both of them as they get a good look at Steven. While Mean Lapis doesn't offer much beyond her arm gemstone placement and curly hair, Nice Lapis sports gold freckles, a nod to real-life Lapis Lazuli gemstones that display gold specks. It's cute and neat. However, these two gems individually represent the growth that Lapis has gone through over the course of the series. Mean Lapis is more in line with Lapis's apprehension to change, her cold and detached behavior that contributed to her fleeing from Earth in season 5 of the original series. Nice Lapis, on the other hand, represents the cracks in that demeanor, the ability to keep an open mind, change, and embrace new things. As is normal for gem types to share the same traits, it makes sense these Lapises would have these similarities, but just like the rose quartz gems and rosebuds, we deal with these two particular Lapises for a reason. This episode manages to address something that we've been stressing on this channel for a very long time, and what we speculated would be the motivation for these twin Lazulis. Not every gem Steven liberated hated their jobs, nor wanted to stop. These Lazulis enjoy terraforming, and they want to continue to do so. One Lapis unable to stray away, lacking the desire to learn anything new, and the other not even realizing she's able to choose something else. I also have a great appreciation for the line, "How can the thing we've always done suddenly be wrong?" As it's true. These gems had designated purposes in life without realizing it was cruel, so it is hard to hear that it's wrong, that they were destroying worlds for no good reason. Like, what the hell were they even going to do after terraforming this planet? There's no kindergartens, no colonies. You just transform the planet for the worse with lack of a good reason. We also have confirmation that Lapis can manipulate surfaces affected by water, but aren't purely water, such as mud, which she uses to demonstrate meat morphs. Lapis in this episode as a whole establishes who she is in Era 3. With the movie, Lapis was very much happy-go-lucky, which can be considered jarring to some viewers, considering where she last left off. But this episode fleshes everything out. She still has her bitchy Lapis tendencies, but finally, completely opened up her heart to the beauty of the universe and the people around her. And she's all for the better because of it. Again, this is echoed through nice Lapis dancing to Steven's music, whereas mean Lapis is repulsed. This takes us to Lapis's song, Shining Through, or as I'm sure everyone else is going to call it, Why So Blue, which gives us more insight into how Lapis is feeling and how she transformed into the gem we see before us. She denounces the constant back and forth fighting, shifting the blame on others, and having others put blame on her. Things that, in my opinion, allude to her toxic relationship with Jasper, how they both took advantage of each other through Malachite. Yet the most interesting lyric of the song, Lapis equates fusion as a whole to her experience trapped in her mirror, which has me thinking that any hopes of seeing Lapis fuse in future has been crushed just like that. But that's a discussion for a later time. According to the Steven Universe Wiki once more, the music style of Shining Through greatly resembles that of bossa nova, especially the beat and piano. Bossa nova is defined as a style of Brazilian music, which was developed and popularized in the 1950s and 1960s, and is today one of the best known Brazilian music styles abroad. The phrase bossa nova means literally new trend or new wave. Bossa Nova acquired a large following in the 1960s, initially among young musicians and college students. The Lapises scoff at the song and ideas presented. Mean Lapis reinforcing that singing and dancing in the days of Era 1 and 2 were reserved exclusively for pros to conduct as entertainment, not something done of free will for fun by other gems. And from that point on, Lapis puts on the boxing gloves for good old fight night. Lapis's rumble with her fellow gems gives us insight into how special our Lapis happens to be, as her moveset is completely foreign, yet adaptable. Keep in mind, her giant water hand is the first attack she ever used in her debut episode, so for it to not be a common ability among Lapis Lazulis had me a bit shocked. The same applies with her water chains used to restrain Malachite. The Lapis's double trouble reinforces the chains as a much more effective weapon. Lapis's resolve, however, is forming a giant water kaiju of herself, a move similar to her water tower and clones in Ocean Gem. That also calls to mind the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender Book 1, when Aang briefly emerged with the Ocean Spirit in the episode Siege of the North Part 2. Her water trident, with mean and nice Lapis cowering in fear submerged in water, is also similar to Ursula against Ariel and Eric in The Little Mermaid. These two Lapis Lazulis easily submit to Lapis's power, which they view as strength, while she views it as weakness, as she briefly slipped into old ways, her true strength lying in a pacifist route, not resorting to fighting to solve a situation. In a way, it echoes Steven's current conflict with his destructive powers, becoming more prone to violence to handle situations, but ultimately holding back and ceasing violence before pushing the limits. Steven hands out brochures to the other Lapis Lazulis, which comes into play in a moment, but I really want to appreciate Steven telling Lapis it's not her fault the other Lapises are stuck in their ways, as it's something that he would have been told in the original series. Steven has finally come to an understanding that not everyone wants help, and the Crystal Gems shouldn't put their time into trying to help people who are just going to regress and slip into their old ways. The other side has to be willing to reach out their hand, take the first step, instead of trying to persuade them into it. That being said, Freckles joins the gang, but notice she's alone. What happened to me, Lapis? Can Freckles even be trusted? I'm not saying she has malicious intent, at least not completely, but going solo, it's definitely the most interesting outcome, as previously, you could predict either both of them would submit or both of them would refuse. To have one but not the other, it sets up a very interesting scenario. But we'll dive into my full thoughts on that in another video. As always, I want to know what you guys think. What were your thoughts on this episode? Which Lapis do you prefer the most? Freckles or Curly? You already know my answer. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at AllStrickThoughts. We're also on Instagram. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AllStrickThoughts signing out. The holidays are here once more, which means it's time for another Roundtable Teespring sale. If you head over to our Teespring from now until December 31st, with the code HOLIDAY, you can get 40% off any and everything in our store. Our Steven Universe-inspired designs, our exquisite Roundtable posters,
because you definitely want our faces hanging up in your room,
and just general cartoon designs. Alongside our 2 previous Christmas sweaters, what is there to pass up? Probably a lot, actually. Now, for the shirts designed by artists that we commissioned, purchasing any of these designs will directly support them, as they do get a cut of the revenue.
So what are you waiting for?
Shop till you drop, and happy holidays.